Alright guys, I'm just going to make a quick 15-minute video going over the practice 6.3. I'm going to go over numbers 5 and 6. So let's go ahead and take a look at 5 and 6. Starting with number 5. Um, First thing we need to do is identify the parent function. Here we have a cubed root, so our parent function is the cubed root. Let's go ahead and graph those points. And you should be looking at your notes. So your notes show you that the parent function of the cubed root is -8, -2, -1, -1, 0, 0, 1, 1, and 8, 2. Here's our cubed root parent function. Now, something I only showed first period, I didn't show anyone else yesterday, but I want to show you a different way of graphing these. You can graph these the way we did in class visually with the 3 different colors we used, or you can do it mathematically. I prefer the mathematical version. I think it's just a little bit quicker. So mathematically, what you would do is you would start a t-chart of x and y. You need to leave some space so that you can write the old x and y values and the new ones. So the old ones are -8, -2, -1, -1, 0, 0, 1, 1, and 8, 2. All right, so when we make the t-chart, we need to identify the transformations, and then whatever transformations happen, this is how you find your new points. You're gonna take x, and you're going to add or subtract the real value of h. Then for the y, you'll take y, multiply it by any a value and any negative if it's there, and then add or subtract k. So using that, we need to write our transformations here. First transformation, I see a 2. That means our a value is 2, which means we have a vertical stretch. It's getting wider. Next, we have this +1. It's inside the radical, so that means h it's +1, so h is actually -1. Remember, x lies. So we are moving left 1. Okay, so now we're going to take the x values, and we're adding or subtracting h. In this case, it's -1. And for the y, we're multiplying by 2. There's no k, so all we're doing is multiplying by 2. So here we have -8 minus 1. That's going to give us -9, -2, -1, -2, and 7. So these points that we just did by subtracting 1 from x, these are going to be our new x values. I think I messed up here. Wow, so silly. 1 minus 1 is 0, not -2. Oops. 0. There we go. Now for the y, we need to multiply all these y values by 2. So multiplying all of these by 2, we have -2 times 2, which is -4. -1 times 2, -2. 0 times 2, 0. 1 times 2, 2. 2 times 2 is 4. All right, so now we have our new x values and our new y values of our points, and we can plot those on the graph. So our first point is going to be, don't plot these yet, just leave it blank. -9, -4, -2, -2, -1, 0, 0, 2, and 7, 4. Okay, so here's our new graph. It has been stretched. Notice how it's longer, and it has moved to the left 1. All right, if we wanted to do this visually, we would plot the parent function, and then we would calculate the changes first. So take your highlighter, And now our first change is a vertical stretch of 2. So we're going to look at every point and multiply its y value by 2. This first point here has a y value of -2. -2 times 2 is -4. Next one is -1 times 2, -2. 0, 1 times 2 is 2, and 2 times 2 is 4. All right, now we have shown the stretch. Now we need to show the movement of left 1. So we're going to move all the points left 1. And here's our new graph. Our vertex is at -1, 0. Our domain and range are -infinity to +infinity. All right, moving on to number 6. Number 6 is a little weird. Look at that equation. Let's go ahead and identify whether this is going to be square root or cubed root. There's no number here, so we assume it's 2, which means we have the square root. Let's go ahead and plot the square root parent function. Square root parent function is 0, 0, 1, 1, 4, 2, and 9, 3. Oh, that's 9, 4. 9, 3. Now, we're going to do it mathematically first, and then we'll do it visually. So mathematically, we start a table, x and y, 0, 0, 1, 1, 4, 2, and 9, 3. We said with x, we add or subtract h, and with y, we multiply by a and add or subtract k. So let's write out our changes. First thing I see here is this 2. This 2, it says 2 minus the square root. Okay, that's kind of weird. This minus is attached to the square root, so I know that is telling me that's the a value. Our a value is hiding here, -1. So this 2, it's not h, and it's not a, so what could it be? The only other option is that this h is the, this 2 is the k value. So it looks like they just wrote it in front instead of in back. It's a +2 because there's no negative there. So we could really just scribble that out and put the k at the end where we're used to it being. Now let's go ahead and write out our transformations. So if we have a negative in front, that means we have a reflection across the x-axis. The 3 here, that's our h. It says +3, so we know h is actually -3, and we're moving left. Last, we have the +2. That's going to be our k value, and that means we're going up. Okay, so now that we have all of our transformations written, let's go ahead and calculate the changes with the table. So x is plus or minus h. Here we have a -3 for h. So we're going to subtract 3 from all of the x values. 0 minus 3 is -3. 1 minus 3 is -2. 4 minus 3 is 1. And 9 minus 3 is 6. Now for the y's, it says multiply by a and add or subtract k. Maybe we move these to the middle so we have more space. 0, 1, 2. Oh, okay, got it. I thought my computer died. 2, 3. Okay. So we're going to multiply by the a value, which is just the negative. So multiplying by the negative, and then add or subtract k. We have a +2, so we add 2. So here we have negative times 0 is 0, plus 2 is 2. -1 plus 2 is 1. -2 plus 2 is 0. -3 plus 2 is -1. All right, so now we have our new points. and we can graph them, and then we'll erase it and do it digitally. So or I said digitally, but I meant visually. -3, +2, -2, +1, 1, 0, 6, 3, 4, 5, 6, -1. Okay. All right, so we got our new points, and now we can graph them, and there's our new graph. Awesome. Okay, now I'm going to erase it and show you how to do it visually if that's what you prefer. So we have our parent function plotted. We're going to take our highlighter and do the a value. It's a reflection over the x-axis, so we can reflect all of these points across the x-axis. Then we're going to take our H and K and do that all in one. So I'm going to take my third color. H is -3 and up 2. So we're going left 3, up 2. Left 3, up 2. Left 3, up 2. And left 3, up 2. There's our new graph. So looking at our vertex is over here at -2, 3. And look at our changes. 2, 3. Did I say that wrong? I did. Oh my God. Sorry, guys. Erase. Our vertex is -3, 2. My bad. And we look at our H and K. Remember, our vertex is HK. Domain, from left to right, we start here at -3 and we're heading towards infinity. And for the range, we start at -infinity and we end here at 2. All right, perfect. So that concludes how to use the table. I would suggest, if you prefer to use the table, just at the top, write a little explanation. We have x plus or minus h and y times a plus or minus k. So either way is totally acceptable. Try both. It'll help you, and it's a much quicker way of doing it than the colors. All right. If you have any questions, just shoot me an email so I can answer them over the weekend. And then Monday is your quiz over transformations and what we've learned so far. So please study your notes. And if you need help, come to tutoring Monday morning. All right. Thanks, and have a good weekend.